Welcome to Bible Crafts for Kids. Today we're starting a new series of the top 10 Bible stories. And of course we're beginning with number 1, the creation of everything. When we talk about creation, the question always comes up, did God create Jesus? The answer can be found in John, the first chapter, verses 1 through 3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. Verse 3 states that without him nothing was made that was made. Jesus couldn't make himself. Verse 1 says that he was with God and was with God and was God. So the answer to did God create Jesus is no, because he made everything. So let's get started for today's lesson and create a page that you will find at BibleCraftsForKids.com. It is a PDF download that contains the lesson and the create a page activity that I'm going to show you now. Create Pages is a papercraft activity that you create for your students as kits, and then they put them together in your class time. Each Create Page in this series are different, and they are like label puzzles. Each of the 5 labels correspond to the lesson, and when the student put them together, it internalizes the lesson. The products we use can be found in our affiliate links. However, these pages may be completed with basic supplies like scissors and glue. I use a paper trimmer and double stick tape in my illustrations because they are faster. I also use double stick tape for my younger students because it makes less of a mess. So let's get started. You and your students are going to love these Create Pages. First, you need to go to BibleCraftsForKids.com and download the PDF file. Now, the PDF file comes with the lesson, with full illustrated instructions for this Create Page. In this case, it comes with a cutting template, the labels that you print, and then in this one, a base for the base. So let me show you. We're going to start with cutting our 12 by 12 paper in a 6 by 6 base. I have printed my labels in a yellow, and I've printed my base for the base in red. So we want to cut our 6 by 6 paper into our 12 by 12 into a 6 by 6. Now, when you're using paper with orientation, you want to keep that in mind when you're cutting. Now, my little cups all go to the top, but my back is just a generic red dot. So the students can use either side that they prefer. Now, on our cutting template, we're going to use a craft knife and a foam sheet, which we're going to lay our paper on top of it. And then we're going to put our template on top of that, and we're going to cut slits. Using our cutting template for the base page, we're going to cut it out and we're going to lay it on our base page, and it fits exactly 6 by 6. Now, if you'll notice, there are 2 cut lines, and we're going to cut through the cutting template and through our base page. So we simply start at the beginning, cut through both sheets of paper, and it cuts slits in our base page. Now, if you're doing a lot of students, do the steps one at a time for all. If you have 5 students, do all 5 bases. If you have 10, do all 10 bases, and then do the labels, and do them in consecutive order. And it does not take long to get enough for your students. But that's the finish of our base page. Now let's go into our base for the base for the labels. And what we want to do is we just simply want to cut these out. Now, if you'll notice, there's a blank one, and then there is one with little dots. If your students are smaller, these little dots help them to align the labels in the area. So we're going to cut them out. I always cut all of the outside edges. And then I look for the longest line. Now, in this case, it's going to be right in the middle is where we're going to cut. And then we're just going to walk around. And we need 1 per kit. And now let's look at our labels. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut all the outside edges of our labels. And then we look for the longest line. Now there are enough labels on this page for 2 students. And I'm going to leave these put together until after I get the double stick tape on them. But I'm going to cut off our memory verses because we do not want to add double stick tape to them. Now for the rest of this, we're going to stop. I'm going to cut these little top edges and the bottom edges. And I'm going to apply our double stick tape to the back, and then I will finish cutting them. Now, if you use double stick tape, sometimes the students have trouble getting this release paper off. And if you will tell them to push it in and burnish it in really good, then the release paper comes off very easily. And these are the title labels, so I'm going to go ahead and put some double stick tape on them as well. And now we will cut them out. And that completes our kit. We have our base page with our slits. We have our base for our labels, and we have our labels with double stick tape. Now we do not need double stick tape on this one, and I'll show you how that fits when we assemble it. Now let me show you how to assemble this Create-A page, and you'll do this with your students in the classroom. First, we're going to take our labels and our base of our labels. And then we're going to attach our labels. We're going to attach them with our key verse at the bottom, our main characters at the top, our Genesis at the left side, and our words to live by on the right side. And we will attach those with a little gap in between. Now, after we have attached our labels, we're going to take our base page and we're going to slip the top into the slit, and then we're going to slip the bottom into the slip, and it holds it in place. And all we have left is to put our series label, the top 10 Bible stories, and the title label, the creation of everything. The students love these pages because they are a puzzle, and teachers love them because each of the labels internalizes the lesson as we go over it when we put them together. Thank you for joining me today, and join me next for the second in the series of the top 10 Bible stories.